Morning children. After the topic in grammar, tenses, you are going to do a new lesson from your non-detailed textbook. Lesson 9. What happened to the reptiles? You know what are reptiles? Reptiles are crawling animals. For example, lizard, crocodile, then you can say snake. All these comes under the reptile category. This is a story about a village called Pambuti. People believe that the story is true, but we really don't know. Before that, let us talk about the narrator. Narrator is a young boy called Prem. So once when he was sleeping in his house, suddenly he heard lot of noise. And what was that? It was early in the morning, and when he got up, he found that the people of the villages were fighting with one another. They were quarreling, hitting one another. And there was fire all around. And people were running from their home. Wherever he saw, he could see only fire and people running with the helter-skelter, taking their belongings and going away from that place. So Prem, this young boy also, he immediately got up, took some of his clothes and started running along with the other villages. Then as he went on running, accidentally he went to a place and he fell down over there. He saw a lot of people and before he could say anything, he fell down, fainted. Fainted means he became very unconscious because he has been running for quite a long time. And whenever it was nightfall, he slept wherever he got placed and he reached one place, he did not know the name of the place also. But when he woke up, he found that he was lying on a cot and an old man was taking care of him. Then he wanted to know where he was. So that old gentleman, a grandfather, told him that he was in the village of Pambuti. And Prem, he tells Pambuti, that grandfather, what brought him to that place and why he came there or how he happened to come to that village. He tells the grandfather that he had to run from his village because there was fire and people were fighting with one another and there was no peace in his village. So he was scared and everybody ran away from there. And he never wanted to go back. So now the story is going to be narrated by our young Prem. He hears a story from grandfather and that story is narrated by Prem. And what is that story? Let me tell you. The grandfather told Prem that Pambuti was a village where lot of reptiles lived together. There were no wild animals like elephants or bear or leopard or any such thing, but only reptiles. And every month the reptiles had a meeting. And one big reptile, a crocodile, conducted the meeting. There was peace all around and every animal that gathered over there, that is all the reptiles, crocodiles, tortoise, snakes, even rats were there, squirrels were there. They all attended the meeting and they listened to the senior crocodile whose name was Makara. And whatever Makara said, they listened to it. But one day, what happened? This Makara, he sent a letter to the head of tortoise saying that the following week he should not come to attend the meeting. Now the tortoise was wondering what was wrong that the tortoise clan is not called for the meeting. And since always scared of Makara, the tortoise did not come and the meeting went on. And Makara announced in the meeting that tortoises were stupid animals, they were very slow and they carried their home along with them. So, and they are no more wanted in this village. So he had ordered the tortoise to leave the village once and for all. And since they were slow animals, they were given 1 week time to leave the village. So now there were no tortoise in that Then again for some times the meeting went on. And one fine day Makara again sent a letter to King Cobra, telling the Cobra that they are not wanted in the meeting, they are very sleeky animals, so they should also leave the village. And now nobody could say anything, and since the snakes could move very fast, Makara gave them just 1 day time to leave the village. Snakes also left, and now what happened in the village? Things became rotten, there were smell all around, foul smells in the village. They could not understand what was the reason. And there were a lot of rats and frogs moving here and there. The frogs were not scared of anyone, the rats were not scared of anyone. They were climbing on Makara and jumping up and down. Why do you know? The tortoise used to eat all the rotten vegetables and rotten things that was around, and the village used to get cleared of all the rotten things. Then the snakes ate the rats, they ate the frog. So the population of the rats and the frogs were under control. So there were no rats, there were no snakes, no tortoise. So the population of the rats and the frogs increased. Now Makara was again very much worried, and the rats became so bold that they did not fear Makara. They jumped on him and they created mess in the village. Now Makara got very scared. He could not do anything. Then again he called for a meeting. And in the meeting he wanted to know what could be the solution to bring peace in that village. So a small tiny crocodile, he wanted to say something. And what was that? He said, "Sir, why not we call the tortoise and the snakes back?" So now everybody were like ready to accept that, because once the tortoise comes, things that are getting rotten in the village will get vanished. And when snakes come, the frogs and rats will hide and their population will reduce. So Makara thought that probably that is the only solution. So he decided to call the tortoise and the snakes back to the village. Then all the snakes with their young ones, the tortoise with their young ones came trotting to the village. Now the village was full of tortoise, snakes, crocodiles, frogs, everything. Then from then on they began to live happily. And that was the end of the story by grandfather. And he told Prem that he should go back to the village and narrate the story to the people over there and make them realize that they should live peacefully. But Prem was not willing to go. He was very scared of the fight, the quarrel and beating each other. But grandfather told him that no, he should go to that village and make the people understand that unity is the best thing. All should live together and only then peace can exist in the village. Then Prem was all ready to go back to his village and narrate the story, and he was ready to bring peace back to the village. Children, this is just the summary of the lesson 9, what happened to reptiles. Okay, I want you to read the entire text yourself. There are a lot of new words in that. You should pick up those new words and try to find the meaning for them. Right, children? I think you must have enjoyed the story. Thank you.